petition be agreed to. I call the member for Hornsby.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Adolescence is a challenging time. Trying to find your place in the world and who you are is something that is never easy. For those adolescents who identify as LGBTI, that challenge is far harder. All the research shows that LGBTI people are at far greater risk of self-harm and suicide than their peers. So it's absolutely appropriate that we expect our schools to cultivate an atmosphere of tolerance, respect, and care for those people who may be different. However, the so-called Safe Schools program goes much further than this. It is a pervasive and radical ideological agenda devised by a group of Melbourne teachers without input from psychiatrists or paediatricians. The Safe Schools material covers some extremely sensitive topics around gender, sexuality and identity, which is why the material needs to be used judiciously. I'm alarmed that despite over 100 schools in New South Wales having signed up on the Safe Schools website to access these materials,
including Catholic schools,
there are still no guidelines for teachers or principals about how those materials are to be used. Currently, teachers and principals determine how the material is used at the local level. As a result, there will be a diversity of opinion as to what is and is not appropriate. It is true that the federal government has provided guidelines, and I know that the New South Wales Department of Education has contacted every school to ensure that they're operating in line with the federal guidelines. But I would have thought that given that education is provided by the New South Wales government, we too should be setting guidelines about how this material is to be used. The onus rightly should be on the New South Wales Department of Education to ensure that schools using the material act responsibly. Putting this aside, it's my firm view that parents or carers should be empowered to determine whether or not their own children are exposed to materials such as this. This is why I support the idea of asking parents to opt into the program, rather than the current situation where all students take part unless parents choose to opt out. Given the sensitivity of the Safe Schools debate, it makes sense that parents should be more engaged. There should be no place for discrimination or bullying, anywhere, let alone in our school system. That said, it's entirely appropriate to ensure that parents are part of the decision-making process when it comes to exposing their own children to such sensitive material. That is not the role of the state.
Order.